All right, guys, welcome to Ever Forward Radio. I'm Ryan Fischer, and we're going to talk a little bit about my life story. And I think the takeaway today is imagine yourself walking on the beach, looking at all the nicest houses, wondering to yourself, what the hell does everybody do who owns these houses? And then imagine one day you walk down the beach and you no longer ask yourself that question. That's what this podcast is about.
Air 5, man.
Yeah, fucking elbow fives now is what it's really all about. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
What an interesting time to be a human being right now.
Yeah.
But we were kind of talking beforehand. What an interesting time, a really kind of motivating time, I'll even say, to be doing stuff online, to be a business owner, to even just flex that muscle in a way. So right out of the gate, what is your biggest takeaway? What is the biggest thing running through your head right now?
Well, first off, I'm definitely super thankful that I had anything online in general.
Yeah,
because I think about it all the time since this started. Is if the gym was all that I had, I would probably be curled up in a fetal position somewhere. Just I don't know if I could go outside right now because I'm hurting so much that I don't know what to do. Life would literally be it would be unknown. You know what I mean? I would be I'm not really sure what is going to happen. Right now, it's all right, I don't know how long this is going to last for. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the gym, yes. But worst case scenario, life goes on and something really shitty does happen, but I can move on.
If this was just an in-person thing, if it was only a gym,
the stress would be so crazy high. I just, I can't imagine what that's like. And I can only feel for some of the people out there right now where that is, the reality of everything. And, I think a lot of people want to be in this time and they want to be I should definitely be doing everything online. It's you know what? As happy and as, thankful I am is that I have that revenue stream, it's not for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you mean? How so?
I think everyone immediately is that's what I need to do. And they think that someone like me is no, you don't want to necessarily do that as a way of me saying don't compete with me. But it's more you genuinely have to love being in front of the camera. You have to kind of love a good portion of your day being video work.
Yeah.
And not every single thing.
And you have to do a lot for it too.
Yeah.
Not even just the feeling, but you got to make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And not everything that I want to do, I want to be filmed. I don't necessarily want to come in every day and do hours of filming and cut it and take pieces and post it and this.
That's a whole other job. Yeah.
It's a whole other job. But if you want to do it right, you have to do it. Only when that funny thing happened and you could cut it out, you know what I mean? And all these little things. And it's I've had coaches in the gym where they're amazing personalities and I'm all I want you to do is get on film and do this. And they're just not comfortable in front of the camera.
How would you say, knowing or not knowing that this was going to happen, not knowing that we were going to be going through uncertain, wild times right now in the world, how were you absolutely prepared? Or were you?
I can't say that I was absolutely prepared. I think with the way everything is set up, my gym, for those of you out there who this is the first time you've ever heard me speak, is basically I own this CrossFit gym called CrossFit Chalk. I was a popular athlete for 10 years. And then once I created this gym, I was the first gym ever to really come out. And we're here right now, and you can probably vouch for this. I opened $1 million CrossFit gym.
It's dope, yeah. It's pretty wild, man, yeah.
And at the time, a dope CrossFit gym was maybe $100,000. And I was the first one who had all competition plates. I had this super expensive overhead rent. I have $250,000 bathrooms.
You're not running out of equipment anytime soon here. Yeah.
Oh, and this is, 100 people have rented stuff out right now.
Wow.
I have stacks and stacks of dumbbells, stacks of kettlebells, everything, that was one thing that I always wanted when I opened my gym was I want everybody in the class to be able to RX and not have to say, all right, well, sorry, we don't have enough for you. You can use this weight instead.
So it sounds like thinking ahead and planning ahead in training and in business was kind of your norm, right? Is that a fair statement?
Well, it's weird because, during my time as an athlete, I had this one very shitty area where I had lost everything. I quit a gym that I was working at because I was just I hate this place and I'll be fine. I'll go get another job. It's not gonna be a big deal.
Okay.
Well, a few months went by and I never got another job. I lost all my money. I couldn't pay rent anymore. I slept in my car for a few days, told some people I was sleeping in my car at the gym that I was working out at.
Shit.
Some girl named Erin, gracefully let me into her home and let me sleep on her couch.
Shout out Erin, by the way. That's amazing.
For 4 months, I slept on this girl's couch.
Damn.
During the 4 months, I stole food from the grocery store. I had no money.
Wow.
And it was gnarly.
What year was this?
2012 range,
Okay.
12, 13 range. And it was, dude, I mean, I was such a piece of shit, but it was like the only thing I had. And like the only other option was to drive home. And I live in New Jersey, so it was across the country drive. I was going to go back to school and maybe do something else. And I just had this very strange, just weird gut feeling of like, I just like couldn't give up on it. And at the time, nobody was making money in CrossFit. So for me to chase this dream, my mom was heartbroken. Like before all this, I was on the Olympic bobsled team in 2010.
Shit.
I had my helicopter pilot's license. I had a degree in exercise physiology and another degree in nutrition. Like I was a smart kid.
Do you by chance know the Campbells? Caleb and his brother. I forget his brother. They were.
Yeah, he went to West Point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Caleb.
On the bobsled team too.
Dude, you can hit up Caleb and ask him about me anytime.
Dude, he's a great friend. He was on the show last year.
Yep.
I was DMing him and his fiance last night. I think we're going to have a happy hour FaceTime later.
Oh, dude, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm just like bobsled. I know one bobsled guy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Caleb knows me pretty well.
Yeah.
So, like I had this great resume and everything is falling apart and I'm, risking everything I have with no money, nothing. And, literally like not exaggerating, I would have so much anxiety going to bed at night that like I would cry like all the time. I'd literally just be so emotional and just be like, I literally have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow.
So you're used to uncertain times.
Dude.
You've lived it, yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then like all of this happened and this huge competition came out. It was called the OC Throwdown. And I went and I got second place at this event. And everybody who was there went to the CrossFit Games and like they were like top 5 in the games and like all these other people. And
so this is now like 2013?
12. It's like, 12? I think it's 12 because the next year is when I got in trouble.
Okay. I'm just trying to paint the timeline here.
So I want to, so like for those of you who don't know, I wound up getting in trouble later on. I'll get to that. But like during this time, I wound up getting, second place at this huge event. And all of a sudden it exploded. I was this kid who had nothing and was considered homeless and was stealing and I actually got caught and went to jail.
No shit, really?
And I had 1,500 hours community service.
Wow.
Which a lot of people don't know. When I first opened my gym, I coached every class every day, 10 classes a day. I coached 2 to 3 clients in between those classes.
Jeez.
I trained for world championships and every weekend I cleaned up trash.
And then went to community service.
20 hours a week I would clean trash at the parks. Guess how long I had to clean trash at the parks for? 3 fucking years.
Holy shit, man.
Anybody who has anything to say about my work ethic can
and what is your excuse around not having enough time? Look at this guy. Shit, man.
Dude, it actually was so gnarly where I would hide it from my girlfriends at the time and they'd be like,
my girlfriends?
Well,
did I hear plural?
I would wind up like breaking up with one and with another one.
My acquaintances.
And they'd always be like, where are you going? Like, why don't we ever do anything on the weekend? Like, why this, why that? And like, we don't ever do anything. And it's like, well,
I'm a bad boy,
I was
baby.
too embarrassed to like let them know what was really going on,
Sure,
so all this was happening and, Getting the gym to become a thing was I was training this client and I just never knew who he really was. He just seemed like a very average person. Obviously, I was charging a lot of money and he told me that he had created MySpace and that he had a shit ton of money. And he was the person who actually gave me the money for the gym.
Wow.
And I told him, I wasn't really interested in doing a gym unless...
Was this Tom?
So Tom invented it.
Okay.
Aaron, my partner Aaron created the software that actually made it what it is. So
wow.
When all that happened, I was like, all right, well, the only way I'm doing this is like if we can come out hot and create something that no one's ever seen. I want you to walk in and I don't ever want you to question why it's $200 a month.
There's the planning thing I keep picking up in your story already. Is like you're not only thinking of problem solving for the here and the now, but like what is 1, 3, 10 steps ahead that the industry is going to be in that we need to be in right now. And
it's interesting because I was doing it unknowingly the whole time. So I just took everything that I had learned. I didn't go to business school. I went to school I was a nerd with nutrition and like physiology and like.
What's your background? What'd you go to school for?
Exercise physiology.
Yeah, my undergrad's exercise science, master's health promotion. Yeah, yeah.
So like that was like I know zero about business, and that was the first thing. I was like, all right, well, I don't ever. I hated the feeling as a coach as you don't have enough equipment to RX this workout. Didn't want that to ever happen. I never wanted there to be a time where you went to the bathroom and you had to wait. So like stalls, showers.
Especially in CrossFit, I mean, you're cutting into time, cutting into training, cutting into money. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure, like, I'll never forget having like 1 assault bike in the gym or 2 assault bikes in the gym. And it was like kind of a thing that competitors used, you know, and it was there. You wanted to use it, but you couldn't, or you felt weird about it. And it's like, nope.
I don't understand it, therefore I fear it, kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure I was the first gym that had 10 assault bikes.
Wow.
I had 12 rowers. Like, I was like, not today. Like, everything that I have, like, everyone's going to be able to use it in every class. Man. And then when the name was a big thing, and I was like, well, I don't want one of these weird names that only works with the word CrossFit. What if CrossFit does ever die? Like, I want this name that just
was
sounds,
already a question. Wow.
I was like, I want a name that sounds dope, you know? And this is coming from a freaking homeless kid, you know? Like, the fact that I was like, I had a lot of people reach out to me and you're like, dude, I can't believe you chose that name. That was so good and all these things. And I was like, dude, I'm just trying to make sure that if I'm going to open this thing, that I have to pay back $1 million. I want to make sure that it lasts a long time.
What was the name?
Chalk.
Oh, is this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
I didn't know if this was like a new
So
kind of thing.
if you look at the sign when you walked up, it actually just says Chalk. It doesn't say CrossFit Chalk.
Yeah.
It doesn't say CrossFit anywhere.
Yeah.
And even our business card doesn't say CrossFit Chalk. It just says Chalk.
Well, real quick, what's kind of is there a requirement by CrossFit HQ? If you're going to be a CrossFit box, don't you have to have that
You don't have to, no. As long as you pay the affiliate, they don't care.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I am still CrossFitChalk.com.
Okay.
But other than that, no. And
so why do you think other CrossFit gym owners aren't doing what you're doing?
Well, I came in a little bit later.
Okay.
But then a lot of people have started to do like, there'll be some other name like Athletics.
Okay.
But they'll still pay for the name. Like even Jason Kalipa, who owns a whole bunch of CrossFit gyms, he was like NC Fit for a while, but he also still was paying for the affiliate fee.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you can do those things. And really all it really does is put you on a map online.
Okay.
Where when people
put you on a database somewhere.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking for a local CrossFit gym. They find you, they come, they give you the $25 for the day. And for $3,000 for the year, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, you make that up pretty quickly.
And people who are like gung-ho about CrossFit, they just know that CrossFit's there. So they go. So I think it's worth it. For me, it's fine.
So you got the ball rolling. You had this investor, you had this client who clearly saw something in you. You are already thinking leaps and bounds ahead of what I know a lot of people to do, or rather not do. And it's just, I want to solve a problem right here, right now. I want to open something. I want to do something. But, you know, where did you go next? You open up the gym. You're thinking ahead. It's very CrossFit forward, fitness forward. What were those kind of first, couple days, months, year like before you kind of went into the competition?
So let's put competing aside. Like, I was a good athlete. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah.
For those of you who want to look it up, I did really well. I went to world championships out in Dubai like multiple times. I was invited to fucking meet princes. And
was it all in CrossFit, or just like you were just
all in
always
CrossFit?
An athletic guy?
I was always an athletic guy. Obviously competed, for Olympic stuff. And I did BMX as a young kid.
Oh, no shit. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I did that for a very, very long time.
So you don't know what it means to sit still?
No. I had such a crazy upbringing, dude. Like, oh my God. Like, I remember so many insane things. But yeah, like sports and physical activity has always been a huge thing for me and an outlet for me. Like my childhood, I didn't really love being at home, and I'd get on my bike and I'd ride what would be equivalent to a 30, 40-minute car ride away. And get a flat tire and hit my mom up on my giant Nextel phone that was like a prepaid phone, like a giant walkie-talkie. And I'd be like, Mom, I'm out here and I got a flat tire. And she'd be like, what the fuck? It's like so funny. And
before the days of drop a pin, come pick me up.
She'd come and pick me up. So, I mean, besides all the athlete stuff, like the gym started to become, this thing that I was like, wow, this is like a dream come true. I own this thing. Mm-hmm. How exciting to own this thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I walk in and I'm like, yeah, this is mine. Like, holy shit. Like, it's so amazing. And I remember spending tons and tons of hours in the middle of the gym here. For those of you who can't see, I'm just like pointing to the middle. And basically I just sit there Indian style. There was nothing in the gym. It was just all white walls. And I was like, where is everything going to go? Like,
blank canvas.
Yeah. I don't want the regular rig that everybody has. I want something else. Like, for those of you who can't see my gym right now, like you're not watching the video version of this, like I have...
We'll throw up some B-roll here. Yeah.
My entire outline of the gym is actually, they're called RML3 power racks. So you can squat fucking world record numbers inside of these things. And I connected pull-up bars around it and created my own rig out of something that didn't actually exist. And then when there's more pull-up space that's needed, I have a chalk custom bar that goes across the middle of the gym, and it says chalk throughout, and it's made out of custom steel, and it's everybody's favorite shot to get in the gym.
Yeah, man.
And then even the walls like started to get dented up, and I was like, all right, let's just put steel on the wall. It just goes with the vibe. And like, you know, the dumbbells were fucking up the wall, so I put steel over there, and like, you know, like there's just a bunch of cool things that started to happen. But then the one thing I really took a lot of pride in was, all right, well, if I'm gonna make workouts and I'm gonna be this gym that has a name that doesn't stand without CrossFit, what do I really want my workouts to be? I love dying. I love conditioning, right? I love that stuff. But my body's kind of beat up now. So like I understand that there's certain things that I might not need to do so much of. And I don't necessarily think that Sally needs to snatch. You know what I mean? Or someone needs to do a handstand push-up or whatever. Yeah. Like if we're not trying to compete, if you really look at the numbers for everybody out there who owns a functional fitness kind of a gym, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. Like how many of them are actually taking this and saying, hey, I want to go compete in this sport. I actually care about how much I snatch, how much I handstand push up.
Yeah.
And you for sure have people in your gym who care about that stuff. But let's go ahead and be real and just...
Let's look at the majority.
Let's accept that 90 to 95% of them, overwhelming majority, don't give a flying fuck about having a 225 snatch, about being able to do 50 handstand push-ups unbroken, or even care enough to do an overhead squat with a decent amount of weight to like walk outside and be like, guess what I can do.
That's wild for me to hear from you, just what I've heard of your story so far.
Especially because I was a competitor.
Yeah, because you're a competitor, because you're so driven, because you're so like next step, to kind of bring it back and take a pause and look at, all right, I'm creating this thing for me. Yes, it is my business, my gym, but you open a gym for other people, unless it's just going to be your playground, right? So not only did you do that, but you were aware of the people that were going to be coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably could have created a mecca for competition only. Like if you want to go to the Olympics, if you want to go to the games, like you come here to fucking train. But no. So
and
why was this in your head?
A lot of people wanted this place to be that.
I can imagine.
So badly because like it's Ryan Fischer. He's the gnarliest dude in CrossFit. Like, dude, I had a 600-pound deadlift when everyone's deadlift was 400 pounds.
Shit.
I had a 275 snatch when everybody's snatch at the time was like 225. Like I had huge numbers. I was back squatting 400 pounds for sets of 20 unbroken.
So you're just an asshole, right?
And when I did 400 pounds for 20 reps, if I'm being honest, it was 395. I'm sorry, but it was 395 for 20 reps in a row, nonstop.
Holy shit! Wow.
And everyone's max at the time, including Rich Froning, was 365.
Wow.
Like I was the guy you were like, this guy fucks so hard. You know, like I want to go to his gym. Like, oh my God.
That vibe, that energy, that environment.
And instead, I was like, dude, I just want people to look good naked. Like, I just want everyone to be like, I had this general notion to myself that everybody that came in the gym, the majority of them I knew didn't want to compete. I knew that was the reality of it. And two, like when people left and they talked about my gym, I took like a lot of ownership in what someone was going to say as they were talking about the gym. Like I think about someone saying, you know, Chase, you know, you're outside and you're like, oh, where do you work out? And you're like, oh, I work out at Chalk.
Yeah.
And I instantly think about the person looking at you and they're like, does he look like he's in shape? Does he look like he goes somewhere that I want to go to? So
they're ambassadors for your brand.
It really bothered me.
Yeah.
And like, it was something I thought about a lot. And I was like, well, I can't like be okay with this 50-year-old guy who keeps trying to overhead squat and keeps trying to snatch, and he loves the sport of it, but he's not getting any better looking. And it bothered me. So I was like, all right, well, let's be real. Like, we need to squat, we need to deadlift, we need to do presses. I'm cool with cleans. I still do snatches in the gym, but it's not all the time.
Right.
Handstand push-ups are not all the time. Like I do the things, but they're like very like limited. And I kind of created this new thing. It's kind of, I you know, everybody loves high intensity interval training.
It's so hot right now.
So hot, right?
Always has been. Yeah,
so like I was like, well, everybody right now who's at the top of the sphere of CrossFit, they're all burned out. It's a reality.
Yeah.
Like I'm not having an opinion on this at all. Everybody is like, all right, well, I did CrossFit for a really long time and now I want to just kind of like lift.
Yeah, and if you're not, you will be very, very soon. I mean, look at the trajectory. Yeah.
So everyone is like, well, sometimes I just want to have times in the gym where I'm just lifting. And not necessarily Olympic lifting, but like a little bit of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
People are scared of that word. They don't want
stuff.
They don't want to do a bicep curl in the gym. They feel self-conscious about it. But it's like, well, what if you could do both and it had a cool name? Because people just want to be part of a group.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
that's what I think CrossFit has done so well. It's like community aspect. It's you get the tribe, you know?
So I literally created, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll make my own genre of working out, just kind of like how CrossFit did. CrossFit wasn't something that was invented. It was high intensity interval training that was already around forever.
Yeah.
And actually, it was actually taken from Pat O'Shea from like the 60s and 70s, interval weight training. And then he just took all that and shortened everything, whatever. I mean, I can get into that. But like in reality, I was like, all right, people want to do this and people want to do this. They want to look good. They want to die. Same. So I created
bring it to life.
I created high intensity interval bodybuilding, which was the HIB. I call it HIB instead of HIT. Yeah. So if you guys look up like interval bodybuilding stuff, you're going to see me everywhere. You'll see that pop up. I wish I could trademark it, but like somebody owns it for high intensity interval.
Oh, no shit. Really?
Someone owns high intensity interval boxing.
Oh, okay. So you can't get HIB.
Yeah. So I might get like, I might be able to do like the 2Bs or something, but regardless, that whole thing is like kind of my thing and people, you know, find me for that. And it was something, you know, that had been like adapted over like my own style of training over time. I was like, well, I'm starting to feel kind of, you know, burned out on certain things. And, you know, I have a really bad knee, so I don't do a lot of these things and that. And then like you know, when that is your life, it trickles down into the programming that you believe in and that you write.
Sure.
And I remember this one girl, Marge, she's from Michigan. I don't know if she's listening to this or not.
Shout out, Marge.
Yeah. She dropped into a lot of gyms as part of her work. It was just something that she did. And one day she was like, you should really put your workouts online. You make the best workouts I've ever been to. Like, I see you post them online. Like, I travel everywhere. And like, there's nothing like dropping in here. And then I talked to actually the guy that was here before, you know, we all started. Yeah. He actually created my website. And I asked him, I was like, hey, can you make like a little, I don't know, maybe like a smiley face that says, here, click on today's workout. And then when they click on it, it goes into a sad face and it says you have to become an online member.
One step ahead. There we go again. They can tap it into that emotion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this wasn't really me preparing for it. This was someone else telling me to do it. And I just remember just being like, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's see, you know? And I had talked to some people about it. I was like, dude, I think it should be like $100 a month. Like, you
just
know,
to get the remote access to the workouts.
Well, it just took me so long. Like every Sunday is like, we talked about this in the last thing. I was like, it's an Adderall Sunday. I have to take an Adderall just to get through it. Like I have to make all these cool workouts. And I don't anymore. It's not just the gym. Now I'm stressed out because there's thousands of people who follow my workouts.
Now it's a
big
obligation.
deal. So like, it's not that it's an obligation. It's like, if I'm going to post this out there and say, hey, like I'm someone that you should follow and pay for workouts, it better be fucking dope.
Yeah.
So now I spend even more time. I get more stressed about putting like an average workout will never get posted.
Oh,
it's got to be fucking dope. So the time we're living in right now, I think I was telling you earlier too, was I had a little over 3,000 members on Chalk Online, and over this past week and a half, I've been posting, you know, my vision of what a body weight workout is. Because for me, a body weight workout, oh my God, I literally get like, I don't like the sound of it is like, I am not going to get a good workout. I'm fucked. I have to be home. I don't have access to weights. Like,
it's really hard to die on body weight. I mean,
it's hard.
Yeah, you can do it, but like it's nowhere near what you used to.
Yeah, the first thing you do is you look online. You're like, all right, let's look up some body weight workouts. Yeah. And it's like, you know, these little girls doing, you know, these movements, and it's like 10 or 15 reps of this and this and this, and there's an A, B, and C movement, and you rest a minute, and then it's like 3 to 4 rounds. And when you really think about it, it's like a 12-minute workout. Yeah. Nobody went hard at any point. Yeah. And congratulations, you can eat 6 almonds today. You know what I mean? It's like
the energy in, energy out is you're not quite there.
Dude, I'm actually you can laugh about it. I'm upset by it. I'm like, oh my God, this cannot be. And I'm still going through my Instagram, people that I respect, and they're posting these workouts that I've seen 4,700 times.
Yeah, and I'll say, I'll maybe kind of play devil's advocate a little bit. Yeah. I think it is important for people, like during stressful times, during whatever's going on in the world, you know, not right now or whenever, like we need a little bit of hope. We need a little bit of something to do 100%. For sure. But I'm with you. Like you really, yes, you're doing something, but let's be honest. Like, what is the end result that you're going to get? You're going to move a little bit. Maybe it'll keep you from being bored, but you're not going to be like you are after a fish workout. But
I take ownership in it again. It's like, all right, well, if I'm going to post a bodyweight workout, it's going to be fucking dope.
I love that. Yeah. Taking ownership of it.
In the last week and a half, I posted the bodyweight workouts that I made every day.
Yeah.
Dude, I gained I told you I had a little over 3,000. Yeah. I gained like almost like 1,500 more people on the app now. Yeah. Because they're like, oh my God, this guy really does make really, really cool shit.
This guy fucks.
This guy
Take
fucks.
the norm and push it. Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always, people like to say like, you should never care about what people think. And I think I've actually taken it the other way, and I care about what people think. And, for some things.
But you interpret it in a way that serves you and ultimately serves them back again.
Yeah. So I feel like you can use things to your benefit that are a little bit more stressful.
Yeah.
And, I'm very, very thankful that that girl Marge told me to put it online. And after that day, it was something that I remember I definitely want to get into this one segue where we talk about, what you can really do in this career. And I love that moment where I was telling you I was walking down the beach. And for those of you guys who don't understand what I'm talking about right now is I'll never forget walking down the beach here in Newport, like living in Newport as a young kid, opening a gym and, having...
It's out of place.
It
is very
super
out of place. Yeah. I remember when I first came here, we started off in Laguna and we would walk around, my wife and I, and just be like, everyone would look at us like, where are your parents? Like, how are you living here? Why are you living here? What are you doing here? Yeah. It was weird. Yeah. It's unwelcoming in a way sometimes.
And I would go to members' houses and they're beautiful homes. And I remember hearing them say, like, because I'd be like, well, how much, do these houses cost? How much do you make to afford this house?
Sure,
and I remember people just saying like, well, I don't think I have any neighbors here that make less than $300,000 a year. And like at the time I was making like 40, you know what I mean? And I was like, $300,000?
Nothing less than? Yeah.
And then like, now I talk to people where like, they're just all in like the millions a year and stuff. And I'm just like, this is a different place. And I remember just walking down, I used to go to the beach all the time. And it reflected to a time when I was younger and I'd be driving around looking at Christmas lights with my mom at all the nice houses in town because they had the coolest Christmas lights. Yeah. So I took that moment. I take my moment of me walking on the beach and I'm just like, in both moments, I'm like, what the fuck do all these people do? What does everybody do to make this much money?
And what's so funny here, I make the joke all the time, especially when I first moved to California. You see all this money and success and a lot of happiness and fulfillment. I'm not trying to paint a negative picture here, but then I never see anybody fucking working. Like everybody's always out. Like I'm like, what
in Newport at least?
What's going on in Laguna and a lot of people in LA too? I'm like, you're always out, and then I'm like, okay, well, Chase, you're also out during these times looking at people. So people are like, what the fuck do you do? But yeah, I'm with you, man. It's so wild.
Well, sometimes you ask them like, what do you do? Like, I just do like whatever. And it's like, well, your fucking whatever is insane.
Yeah, can I get into some of that?
Yeah. Well. I mean, I remember thinking this for probably the first 2 or 3 years I was open. And I remember just kind of accepting, this is before I started the online program and everything. I was like, well, I guess, I'm just going to own the gym and I don't really know what else to do just because it takes up so much of my time. I don't have time to really do anything else. And
so you kind of just accepted where you were.
It wasn't like I accepted it and that was just going to be it. And I was okay with it type of thing. Okay. It was just like, well, fuck, I just don't know how you would ever buy something like that with just being a gym owner, And then all of a sudden when the online thing happened, just for like raw numbers, for instance, like, I was making $4,000 a month in my gym. I still do actually.
Awesome.
All the money that, ever comes in the gym, I've put it all back in the gym. I have so many members who think that I'm fucking rich off this gym and it's the farthest thing from the truth. And I still to this day have never received a paycheck besides my agreed upon salary from day one.
Yeah.
And as you can see, like the gym is beautiful and I'd rather the gym stay beautiful and me have less money from the gym. But I was making $4,000 and then all of a sudden when the online program started, it was an interesting number because that first day that it started, I made one post and at the time there was no swipe up option. There was nothing. And it wasn't even we didn't have stories yet either. It was just a post. And I was like, hey guys, just so you guys know, I started this online program and it was just a photo.
Oh shit.
And that day I made $4,000.
Damn, dude.
And I was like, I just doubled my income on this thing that literally, is already what I've been doing.
Let's go more there, man. What I know we were talking about before and the story is we ask these questions because we look around. I mean, definitely if you're wondering like, what can I do? How can I get passionate? How can I, make this money, make this impact? Well, first up, you got to look up, you got to look around because as long as your head is down, you're going to stay focused on what you have done, where you are, and you're not going to be stimulated, motivated. You're not going to see all these other, what could be. Like looking up at these houses, asking these questions, how did you get here? What do you do? And not a way of like, oh my God, look at you, but just like, I want to know so that I can create my own path. And so you looked up, you got creative, you began to look ahead, like I keep saying that you do, and just put something out there. Do you think that's kind of like your norm, your process? It's just like, let me just like put something out there because it is a new idea. Let me test the waters and then run with it. Or do you actually have like a vision, a plan, kind of like all laid out ahead? Like, what's your creative process in this?
I think the creative process, I've never been asked that, but for me, I think, I know what it is like, I never give up on the things that I really like to do.
Okay.
And I'll just figure out a way to make money with what I like to do.
That's a huge takeaway. Like it literally can be that simple.
Because everyone thinks that they need to change, they need to reinvent the wheel somehow, some way, and it's you don't like. You know, I liked making workouts, and I figured out a way for liking to make workouts to buy me that house on the beach. Like,
hell yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, what a fucking what a world that you could live in. And like,
not by emulating others, not by trying to follow down someone else's exact same path.
Yeah.
But just learning, taking away, applying, making your own, and just honoring the things that like lit you the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, how old are you right now?
34.
34. So I'm 33.
Yeah.
And at this age, you probably have friends who are pretty successful.
Yeah.
And when you ask them their road to success, they probably changed their career a few times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How fucking insane is it that like I'm the Kobe Bryant of working out? Like I stayed with the Lakers the whole fucking time. You know what I mean? Like I stayed in.
I was like, where's he going with this? Like, there it is. Yeah.
Like I stayed in fitness the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
I wanted the house on the beach so fucking bad my whole life. And I was like, I'm only doing it on this fucking team. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm not going into the social norm, and I'm going to figure this out on my own.
Married to the game, man.
I'm about to cry right now. And like
Let it out. It's cool.
I never thought about it in that way, but to compare it to someone like that who's such a legend, and I fucking do not want to compare myself like that, but like I think of someone who didn't give up on you know, their team.
Yeah.
And I think that's so admirable.
Yeah.
Like even right now, fucking Tom Brady just went to another team. Like that's fucked.
I saw that. I'm not even a sports guy, and I was like, dude, I even know that.
I'm not
like,
a sports guy either, and I
thought
like,
he was going to retire.
Fucked.
Now he like fucking left and went to Florida, right?
Yeah, I don't dig that. But regardless, like I feel like that what would you call that? Like when you're the loyalty on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, for anyone to ever say like when I bought my nice house, I bought a cool car, like I bought my dream car, and like some of these things some of these things are kind of like people would say like are material types of things. Yeah. It's like, dude, I never fucking sold out. Like I never sold out. You know what I mean? Like I stuck in it. I kept it real in terms of like, you know, I didn't do anything to make money. I answered questions.
There it is.
Everybody asked me, what are you guys doing in the gym? Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Got paid for it.
You acted out of passion, fulfillment, and value for yourself, and more importantly, for a community of other people that was there, but you also helped kind of curate. And then with that, I'm a firm believer that success will come. You stay married to the game, stay married to that process. Of course, you know, you got to pivot a little bit here and there, but you never lose sight of that vision, that thing that means the world to you. And with that, success, money, community, all that shit will come. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was just more questions to be answered. You know, like people kept asking, you know, like I threw a nutrition challenge in the gym and we had these dope before and after photos and I'd post them and people were like, dude, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Like Chalk had 40,000 Instagram followers when like we're a gym. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Real followers for a gym for 40,000. Like there's people out there that are trying super hard on their own personal brand and don't even have 10,000.
Yeah. That means it's not the gym. That means it's the meaning and it's the message behind it. So props for you, man.
You know, I was like, all right, well, if you guys want to do the challenge, let me just figure out a way to do this. So these are the types of things that I'm probably not going to lay down on the podcast because they're probably worth some dough. But like,
we'll save that for the special bonus course that you have to buy.
Someday I'd like to do something like that because I genuinely feel like I can provide some insane value.
Again, what we just been talking about, man. Like get creative on the thing that
just keep answering
matters
questions.
most to you.
Yeah. So, you know, like right now it's hard because there's people answering questions and there's people answering dreams, and like the people who are answering dreams they're giving you something that they think is going to answer your dream, and they haven't even achieved their own fucking dream.
I agree.
There's so many people that are like, there's some guy right now, I just clicked on his ad the other day just to see it because it's a book about how to get 1 million followers. And I click on it and then I'm like, all right, well, he has 1 million followers. And then I'm like, oh, he has 700,000 views on this video and this video. Let me just go a little farther back. Oh, all of a sudden he has 20,000 views on the video. So let's just say maybe he just paid for these. And then like,
what's the timeline there, huh?
And the content wasn't that good. And then I looked at the comments and there's a bunch of emojis and I'm like, okay, this guy is just fucking everybody over, but people just don't know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that going on. It's really, really sad. But anyway, getting back to the questions and the challenge, the challenge turned into, I figured out a way that this is what I was saying. I wasn't going to tell anybody, but I figured out, because it started off as you email me, I email you the packet, and then, I put you into a group and you Venmo or PayPal me. It's like this whole process. And then even a challenge should still always have some sort of personal connection. You shouldn't just for instance, buy something and it's done.
Right. Okay,
it shouldn't be like an ebook transfer. But I've created something similar to that where it's like, I can now have 1,000 people or more sign up for a challenge and I'm not overwhelmed in the way that I did it.
Yeah.
And then now every 6 weeks I do a new challenge and I cater now to pretty much everybody, whether you want to eat more carbohydrates or more fats.
I saw you recently kind of revamped, or maybe it's just me catching on the carb cycling thing that you're doing. Yeah.
So now it's called the Earn Your Carbs.
Yeah.
And now you figure out how you personally want to earn your carbs, whether you eat more carbohydrates or you eat more fats. So one's called carb cycling, one's called keto cycling.
Okay.
And the way that I kind of created it and made it is it's a little bit different than standard carb cycling, and it's a little bit different than just being general keto.
Okay.
Because the keto cycling has 2 days where you're eating high carb.
Okay.
So it's not full keto.
Right.
But
you're catering to probably a couple groups of people in your audience already. So diversifying. There you go. Yeah.
Well, people need to understand, first and foremost, every single diet works if you're in a deficit.
Yeah.
Who gives a flying fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys don't know that, I'm sorry. That's
this just in.
Yeah.
Calories, reduced calories in equals weight loss.
It is the reality.
Yeah.
But and there's a lot of people out there holding signs up, dude with a sign, and he's like, the only thing that matters is a deficit and all these things. And it's like, dude, stop beating this dead horse. Why don't you tell everybody the only thing that matters is the deficit, but the way that you get there is what makes it sustainable.
Exactly.
So that's why you follow someone's diet over another diet.
Yeah. Where's the adherence protocol in all this?
And no one fucking ever says it.
Yeah.
So it's like, why should I carb cycle? Why should I keto cycle, Ryan? And it's like, because it's easy. That's why.
Because it's doable. It's realistic. It's sustainable. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it gives you the fucking results that you want. Yeah.
Well, I heard about this and I heard about this. Yeah. I'm sure they're great.
Yeah.
You're here now because it was hard.
Exactly.
So I made it easy. And now all of a sudden that thing took off. I mean, dude, thing makes...
That's dope.
Yeah.
No doubt. I can only imagine.
It's a two-comma business.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. Something that's kind of stood out to me is that it seems not only the passion is there, the insight, the foresight is there. It seems like it really matters to you that I'm going to do this. And not only is it going to be good, it's going to be great. And it matters that you have ownership over it. It seems to kind of matter that what people think in a good way, how people take it out into the world as a representation of you, that really matters to you.
Big time.
Why?
That would be a deep comment.
I'm here for it, man.
If you're ready for it. All right. So I don't know. One of my camera guys here, he knows the answer to this, I'm pretty sure. But I never knew my dad growing up. I actually never met my dad until I was 24.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even know who he was till I was 18. And I think there's something inside of me where I didn't get this compassion or love or something that I needed as a kid. And I always...
Validation, maybe?
I never felt that dad portion. My mom was insane and I had stepdads and stuff like that, but something was always kind of missing. And I feel I love the love that I get back from my people. And without that, none of it means dick. So to me, yeah, I can create a whole bunch of products right now and make some money because I know that they're going to work and I know what makes money now. But if it doesn't make people happy and it doesn't give them something to talk about, then
what's the point?
I'm not going to get the positive reinforcement that I feel I need inside that I missed my whole life. So to me, social media isn't a job some people where they're oh, I got to do this all day and this and this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. To me, it's well, I get to talk to my people today.
Yeah.
And I get,
to engage.
I get some great messages from people. I changed their life. This happened, that happened. One of my employees wrote me something. I wish I had my phone on me right now. She just was she's this past week and a half, I've done all of your workouts in parks, at my house, with my parents, with all these different people. And she's I can genuinely tell you that you have a gift that is unbelievable.
Wow.
And in a time like this, fuck, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, man.
She's like,
I feel you.
She's like, I'm just like so thankful to be able to witness this.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's dope. And I'm like, that's
Damn,
so
man.
cool.
I feel you, man. I mean, I don't know how much you know about me and the backstory, but it's funny, like, so not funny, but interesting timing. Around 18-ish, when you first met your father, that was about the age when I lost mine. Yeah. And because of that loss, I do what I do now. So
oh, nice.
I had that I just turned 19 when he passed away. I had a terminal illness, and he was like my hero. So I feel like kind of like the second half to what you're doing in my first half. And then all that was gone and taken away from me, and I lost it. And I was lost in the sauce for a fucking decade. I was miserable. I was depressed, PTSD, like just all this shit happened. And
that's a tough age, dude.
Yeah. And I just joined the military at the time. I was about a year into the Army. And so I was like, well, why? I did this for you. I did this for the family legacy. I did this for all this shit. And like, I didn't know why. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I was doing it. And it took me a long time to kind of realize that, like, that ending, no, it's not an ending. It's an actual beginning. I think it's interesting timing, you know? So you had those first 18 years of not having that. And then now here you are kind of like building it yourself. I had it. And now I'm making up it as I go too.
It was interesting too. Like my whole, like everything from 0 to 18 was, I had this very strange feeling that like something wasn't right, and I knew it. And I grew up with 5 brothers and sisters in the same house.
Wow.
And we all had different dads.
Wow.
And I just remembered like why does my dad he never sees me, but he sees my brother, and like it just like because I apparently had the same dad as my one brother.
Okay.
His name is Fischer. And I just remember just being like, like it just feels so weird. I feel like he talks to him, but not me. And then like I never had this like connection with anyone, like anybody else. And when I found out that, you know, that wasn't my dad, like all of a sudden it was just like, boom, like all these things just like came into fruition for me. And I just was like, you know, so many things made sense. And then when I met him when I was 24, I was like, oh, this dude is exactly like me. Like,
what did that mean to you? Like so at age 24, you'd already done so much for yourself, highs and lows. What did that do for you?
This is when I was training on the Olympic team. So like he met me during that time. And what was interesting was everything I did as a kid was so opposite of everybody else in my family. I was into sports, you know, this, that. My brothers were like into drugs, and they were like dealing drugs, and they were getting in trouble. My two
literally
sisters,
complete opposite.
Complete opposite. Yeah. My other sisters, like, you know, opened a hair salon and became hairdressers, and like nobody ever left New Jersey. That's where I'm from. Like they're all just like there. They're still there. And I turned 18. I did sports my whole childhood. I never wanted to be home. As soon as I was 18, I moved to Hawaii.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
Yeah. And then
couldn't get much further from home.
No.
At least not in the States. Yeah.
And then I grew up to open my own business. Lo and behold, my dad did all the same sports I did growing up.
No way.
He started his own company, owned his own business, all these different things. And I literally, everything that happened in my life until that time, like I had almost no choice but to be like these other people. And I knew I had this fucking weird feeling my whole life that something was wrong. And I was like, well, I don't want to be like anybody like here. And, you know, and my mom was always at work. My stepdad was always gone. And I had a couple stepdads, and then like all this stuff. And then lo and behold, I meet my dad. We're the same fucking person, and we never met each other. Didn't know anything about each other.
That's nuts,
I'd never even seen a photo of him. Like when he told me he was coming to meet me.
You didn't know who you were looking for.
Dude, literally in a hotel lobby, about to start asking people if they're my dad. Because I even hit my mom, and I was like, Mom, what does he look like? And she's like, you'll know. He looks just like you. I'm like, you don't have a fucking photo? And she's like, no, I don't have a photo. And I was like, well, fuck me.
I think I've seen this Hallmark movie.
So like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, so like,
holy shit.
It was crazy. And then I hadn't talked to him. There's actually an amazing story that goes along with that for another time.
Okay.
It's, I mean, when I was training for the Olympic team and stuff, I was trying to get money. I had no money, and like just to raise enough money to train and stuff. And I got this random letter from someone. It was a couple $100, and it was from my dad. And I never cashed it.
Really?
I never cashed it because I always felt like he would think that I wanted something from him, and I never wanted anything except to just know him. So after he met me, we hung out for like 3 days, and then when he left, I gave him the card.
Wow.
And he didn't know what it was. He's like reading it as he walked away. And then we both turned around at the same time and he was like, fuck.
Dude.
So I never cashed the check.
Oh my God.
And dude, I needed it so bad. And like everyone was giving me like 20 to 50 bucks and he gave me $250. It was like I needed it.
Yeah.
And I just like, and my mom always asked me like, did you cash it? And I was like, yeah, I cashed it. And I just never did.
Wow.
And I told her that story, and she was like, she actually was mad at me. She was like, you should have cashed it. Like, that guy's got so much money. And I was just like, well, it's not about that. And I think it kept us in a relationship. He said something to me that I can't say without crying, but so I'm just gonna keep it to myself. But
I've had people cry on the show before, man. I've cried on the show. It's
we
all
already
good.
did already, but
I think I have like a tear still stuck in my eye over here.
So he said something to me, and then we talked for like 2 years after that, and then he got remarried. I didn't talk to him for a really long time, from like 24 to 33. I'm 33 now. I went to Wadapalooza recently, and I just, for the hell of it, because he lives in Florida, I sent him a text message, and we've been talking ever since. I've been talking to him for like the last like 2 months now.
Man, that's
amazing. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has an insane gym in his house.
Oh, no shit.
So like after he met me, he got all into CrossFit after that. Okay. Yeah, which was interesting. And because I wasn't even really doing CrossFit really at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with kind of your, I may not even say nature, just your kind of ability, or just who you are, and how you kind of look at problem solving right here, right now, for you, for business. Where do you kind of see that with your dad?
Will he?
Where are you going with it? I mean, it seems you've had a great ability to kind of look, a couple steps ahead in what you want to create for your life, create for your business. What do you want to create with this relationship?
Oh shit. I'd like to just I don't know, be able maybe to go hang out with him like twice a year. Just like, I still never really. I mean, we had like those 2 or 3 days together, and I had talked to him on the phone, and he came out. He made it seem like he didn't come out here like on purpose, but he said he was here for like something else, and he just came. And it was like for when I first opened my gym.
It's a good dad move.
Like when I first opened the gym, and he was only here for like a few hours, then he left, and he said he was here for something else.
I gotta go to a meeting.
I don't believe it, but he was here and he saw the gym, and then I saw him like a year after that at Christmas time in New Jersey. Yeah. For like a day, and then I haven't seen him ever since. But I'd like to just kind of just be around the person that gave me all the traits that I have. I mean, there's got to be something there that I'm missing that I have never felt before, or I've never seen, or I didn't know I had that maybe he has. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of cool to be around that. Like, I feel like I'm not around like my own blood like really all that much. Do you think your community, does your gym, does your following know the role that they're actually filling right now? Or they absolutely have filled for a long time? No, they all think that like I'm trying to make money, and like they think that I've changed so much, and it's like couldn't be farther from the truth. It's like the people who are really tight to me, like they know that like I'm still the same dude. Yeah. There's some people in here right now that know that I'm the same dude, but there's some people that think, all they see now is like the stuff that I have now, and they just like forget that whole other part. Mm-hmm. And I always talk about how thankful I am. If you guys follow me on Instagram or something, like you can tell like a lot of gratitude all the time. A lot of gratitude. I wake up every day and I'm like, Jesus, this is insane. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is crazy. So like, I get bummed out on stuff like that all the time, because I almost just like want to tell them this whole story, but why haven't you? I feel like if they care enough about me, they'll take the time to go find it and find this podcast. I have other podcasts like with me talking about it. They could ask an OG member about it. Yeah. If they really want to, like instead of just thinking something, I think that you should always ask. Like, why does Ryan drive a fucking G-Wagon? Mm-hmm. Why does he like live down by the beach or something like that? And it's like, oh, well, he does a lot of stuff on social media and it makes him look cool. And, people, they outside looking in, they need affirmation that what he's doing actually is doing, it actually is producing results, or it is producing this. And some people like to correlate that with things. And I mean, I'm not a materialistic person by nature, but if you're going to tell me that your shit's fucking better than mine, and you're driving an old pickup truck and you go to your, little shitty house, I have a really hard time believing that. So for me, I get behind that. You know what I mean? It's like, you can drive the shitty pickup truck, but then you still have to go to the house on the beach or something, right? Like I need a little give and take here.
Or have a villa in Italy or something.
something that tells
wherever
me.
you choose to like invest yourself.
Yeah, it's not about the material thing. It's just like validity that it is like you really are that good at what you do. And for me, I feel like it just helps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to sit here and tell you. I'll just, if you follow me, you're like, oh yeah, he has a nice life. He's probably really good at what he does. Like, and to me, that's what it means.
Yeah. Okay.
But some people are like, oh, he's flexing on motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not.
They haven't taken the time to like really explore that, to ask you. I mean, to flat out, most people don't. I mean, especially in the social media world, in the SoCal world, it's just, what you see is what you get. At least that's the initial assumption a lot of people make. And it's very rare when people will take the time or even care to like dig deeper to build a relationship. The
bigger one is, Ryan's never here anymore. He doesn't give a fuck about us. Dude, you just have a podcast, right?
For the most part, yeah. A couple other things here and there, but it's vast majority podcast.
Hopefully I didn't hurt your feelings just now, but like,
no, you're good.
you made it sound like this is like all I do. And so think about how much time this takes for you.
Oh yeah. This is 95% of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I have a podcast as well. I like to make it pretty good. I don't have anyone help me really with it. Like I post those up. I make the intros. I make the thumbnails. I make the summaries.
Same.
All that. Plus I run this gym. Plus I run those challenges. There's about 5 different Facebook groups that I get in every single day. I create a workout every single day for 4 different programs.
Wow.
I have a social media company that manages about 10 to 15 accounts.
Wow.
And I still make the posts for my Instagram and the gym's Instagram every single day. And I do all my stories.
Dude, your time blocking skills must be on next level.
And I create YouTube stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm probably forgetting stuff, dude. There's so much shit. I still do all the billing. Like I pay different people for different things besides the gym. Like there's so much stuff. And like, I can't do it in the gym. I can't be in my office and you're like, oh, Ryan's here. Let me go talk to him. And I'm like trying to do something and I'm like, fuck. And so then it's like,
it definitely comes a time, and I mean, I feel like I'm even there, and my shit's it's all digital. There comes a time when you need to work on the business and not in the business, and
they'll never, ever, ever understand that
until you experience that yourself. You will not get it.
Yeah. And that's probably my biggest hurdle right now is getting people to understand that I don't care less about this place. For me to care more about it, I need to not be here.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I just need to give you guys the best people I can to. To just hold on to the vibe, because what's really important is the vibe. And people people are mad because they really just want me here. Instead of saying they hate me, they're really just like,
I came here for Ryan.
I just want him to fucking be here. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get it. And it is, when I am here, I say a bunch of fucking inappropriate things and, show you ridiculous videos or whatever happens. And I wish I
could vouch for the ridiculous videos.
I wish that's what I could do all day, but it's not the reality.
Yeah. Well, man, I can tell. I just want to say, first of all, thanks again for your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for opening up. We've been talking passion. We've been talking business. We've been talking feels. A lot of different things. That, regardless of where the listener is in their life, in their journey, in their business, in their job, whatever, there is a very applicable lesson. So for that, I say thank you. And if I can pass on something to you, just kind of knowing a little bit more of your backstory with your father. As soon as I heard that,
I could see it in your eyes. I was like, he has something to say about this.
It took me a long time to get to a point to where I could share that out loud without completely just breaking down. That
was until I was 30.
Yeah.
From 18 to 30, I couldn't talk about it.
I was 27, 28. And I had a really big significant event. I had the worst panic attack of my life. And I was snapped out of it by my now wife. And I realized that I was doing all the things, right? I was training 8 days a week. I was, hitting all my macros. I was doing
8 days a week.
Yeah, I was fucking I was never a gram over on my carbs, and all that shit was working for a period of time because it was my lifestyle, it was my job. But when I realized that, well, why am I still fucking up in these ways? Why am I not fulfilled? Why do I still feel this pain? Why when everything else was seemingly right? It wasn't until I began to just first admit it to myself and just open that up and just let those floodgates come wide open and then share it out in the world. Everything else just fell into place. It took time, but everything else fell into place. I began to pay more attention to things that I was missing for years. I began to connect with my audience. I began to grow my business in ways that I never thought was possible because it kind of opened up that humanization aspect for me. So what I'm trying to say, man, is like, if I can pass any piece of advice onto you, is just like, go explore that more. It's been wild, man. Getting able to like just open up that part of my story and then share it with my community. I have never felt more love. I have never seen more growth. I've never felt more fulfillment. So if you've been entertaining that idea at all, I would challenge you to explore more.
I had one podcast where that's all we talked about.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I'd ever like cried on a podcast. And it was like, I remember my followers listening to it and being like, dude, that was insane. Like, I didn't know any of that about, like, I was always a badass on all my podcasts before that. Like, everything in my life was always like that. And then I had that one where I just broke down the whole time. People like loved it. I think one thing that I didn't really bring up that like really bothers me a lot though is my last name is not mine.
Interesting.
It's the dad that I thought I had the whole time. And it bothers me every single time I see my name on a piece of paper.
Wow.
Because I'm just like, fuck. Like, I know I created that name, and I have some people that are like, dude, that's your name. It's fine. Like that's what you created, and like that's what will go down. But it's like,
it's not just a name; it's an identity.
My real name is so much different. Wow. Like, instead of Ryan Fischer, it's Ryan Viggiano.
Wow. What do you think would happen if you
changed it?
Changed it.
I think it's a badass name.
It is. It's dope. I mean, it's fucking Italiano.
I don't really know. I just feel like, I feel like. I've always wondered that, and I asked my mom about it, and like,
what's in a name?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people make me feel like it's okay, but at the same time, I'm like, oh man, I just feel like I'm like a living lie with this name. Yeah. I just hate it so much, but
well, let me.
It's something I need to work on.
I'll close with this, man. The last question I ask everybody: ever forward. That's what it means. That's the backstory with my father. If it was this phrase that he instilled in us as kids growing up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
From his time in the Army. He said it our whole life. We're just like, yeah, cool, whatever, Dad, you have a phrase. And then when he was sick for about 18 months, just watching him die, he lived it. I never once saw him complain. Until he could not move his face anymore, could not talk anymore, it was ever forward, ever forward, ever forward. So, Ryan Viggiano?
Yep, Viggiano.
Viggiano, excuse me. Ryan Viggiano. How do you live a life ever forward? What does that mean to you?
So I don't know what it means, like in the way that you teach it to people, but
no, it's for you.
To me, I think
I'm talking to Ryan Viggiano right now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of what I talked about earlier. Is like you stay with the home team, but whatever your original dream is, you can turn it into whatever you want it to be.
There's no right or wrong answer, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like I think like if I pass away tomorrow, I think that's like kind of what you're asking me, and I'm pretty fucking happy.
That's dope, man. Cool.
I'm not missing out on it. Like I did everything I wanted to do, and I surpassed it by, I forget the word thankful. Like I'm already like, way beyond that. Like it's every day to me is a gift for sure.
Amazing, man. Well, I'm going to have, of course, all your shit down in the notes and stuff, in the video for everybody to find you. But right now, where can they go to find you the most online?
Everything that I do is on jimryan.com. So Jim Ryan is GYMRYAN.com. And people ask me, like, why is it Jim Ryan? I'm like, well, everything started with a gym. Isn't that
there
cool?
You go, man.
Everything started with the gym, and I happened to have that name available. I bought it. I bought the .com, and it flows nicely.
Yeah.
So jimryan.com. The Chalk Online app is on there, and I have all the bodyweight workouts for those of you right now who are, maybe you're quarantined still when this comes out. And the CrossFit workouts you do on there, the conditioning workouts I do on there. I have this thing on there called the Daily D, where all you need is a set of dumbbells, a jump rope, and a pull-up bar.
Easy.
And I make dope workouts with just that. I've had that going before quarantine even started. And then
again, ahead of the curve, man. Think it ahead.
The nutrition challenges are all on there. Everything's on there. And then if you just want to see me on Instagram, it's Ryan Fish, RyanFisch, which maybe one day be Ryan Viggiano.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Well, if that ever happens, I'll be the first one to give you the new follow. Yeah. Like I know that guy.
Well, I couldn't get my full name. I couldn't get Ryan Fischer, right? So maybe I can look up Ryan Viggiano.
Why? Because it was taken, or it's not too many characters, right?
It was taken.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sure, yeah.
So I wonder if Ryan Viggiano is available. That might tip me over.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll let you know when this goes live for sure. Maybe you should secure the handle for some asshole steals it.
Oh, damn it.
Or maybe, shout out Ryan Viggiano. If you are a real person, maybe you already have it. I don't know.
I feel like you're not going to get Ryan and Viggiano in the same name.
let's go see. I don't know.
Those are two like very different genres of, I don't know what you would call it, ethnicity.
You're a hybrid blend, that's for sure, man.